Can this be the female answer to John Wick? Maybe. I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. Atomic Blonde. So Atomic Blonde is a new movie from John Wick director David Leitch and stars Charlize Theron as Lorraine. Lorraine is this MI6 British intelligence agent who was sent to Berlin in the final days of the Cold War to retrieve a list of agents that have been compromised by this KGB or kind of KGB-esque organization, and she needs to retrieve it because if that list gets out, that's going to mean trouble for a bunch of credible agents around the world. So we have our spy movie with a kind of generic premise, but a really great cast and some interesting directing that kind of puts it as more than just your average spy movie. So the first thing I mentioned I really liked about this movie was the cast. Charlize Theron is a fantastic action star, whether it be in movies like Mad Max Fury Road or even the more recent Fate of the Furious, which was a little stupider but still really good. She was great in the movie. You could have had a few other actresses play her, like I'm sure Scarlett Johansson was probably in contention as well, but Charlize really has the ferocity in her eyes and you could see her intensity throughout these action sequences. Apparently she's committed so much to this movie. She actually did 98% of her own stunts. The only thing she didn't do was fall downstairs because that was an insurance liability, but that was really cool. If you've got somebody who's willing to commit to the part that much and be as great of an action hero as she is in this movie, great, go for it, and she was really good in the movie. You've got James McAvoy as well, who's another MI6 agent that she's kind of collaborating with. He was good in the movie. He really injected some humor into the first half of the movie when you're really getting to know him, getting to know the situation, and I think that worked out pretty well for the movie. You also have Sofia Boutella, who you may know from Kingsman: The Secret Service, Star Trek Beyond, or The Mummy, and she was good in the movie. She had a little bit more to do than just kind of be a non-speaking, moving around, slicing people up with her claw legs role, but I really liked her role in the movie as well. You've got Toby Jones and John Goodman in the movie. They aren't in the movie much, but for the roles they play, they're also fine in the movie. So again, the cast was a pretty good ensemble. I think they all worked pretty well together, and I really liked all of them in their roles. The thing that I was a little bit mixed about in the movie was the direction, because the screenplay really sets up this hardcore kind of dark tone, espionage spy movie, where Lorraine's out doing her thing, she has to get to the bottom of what she's doing, everything that she's focused, and this is intense, it's life or death, she's doing her thing, she's super focused and everything. But the problem is that David Leitch, the director who did John Wick, tried to inject a John Wick kind of style into it, and that's really apparent for the first half of the movie. Anytime they'd switch locations, it would be Paris, but it would be in this graffiti paint font, and then it would drip a little bit, and it would be in neon green, and I'd be alright. So the movie's very gray and dark and everything right now, and they're really establishing this kind of grimy, disgusting tone for the movie. But when you've got this shot of fun in the text and everything like that, it kind of goes against, kind of contradicts what you're trying to do. So I was a little confused by that. That, and you feel some of the action sequences were just styled and cutting ways where it's oh, this is supposed to be really energetic and fun. Whereas later in the movie, when you have a longer take action sequences, it feels more intense. It feels more kind of on the ground, grimy, disgusting. What the movie was going for type action sequences, whereas the first half was edited in a way that was trying to make it almost more fun. I'm not going to say this movie was Suicide Squad, but it was kind of Suicide Squad in that way that it was trying to inject fun where maybe fun didn't need to be had. That and the use of some pop music from the 80s was just in the background of some random scenes. That I didn't mind as much actually, because I thought that it was kind of funny to see sometimes it was worked into the scene, sometimes it was what a character was listening to on their headphones, something like that. So that I did kind of enjoy, but again, I think that the over-stylization in the first half didn't really work that well for what the movie was going for, what the movie was written to be. Luckily, by the time you get to the second half, the movie does recognize it's supposed to be dark, it's supposed to be gritty, we're going to focus on what we're doing and not really get caught up in style over substance here. So I'm glad that the movie found its footing by the end of it. The script I thought was good. I do think it's a little bit fast-paced at times and then a little bit slow-paced other times. There's times where it's just stop and go, it's giving you more information, you need to catch up, you need to make sure you know what's going on in the movie so you can follow along and not be lost. And then there's times it just slows down and focusing on one thing for 10 or 15 minutes. I would say between the first and second half of the movie, there's this 15-minute intro where I just checked out because it was doing almost nothing. There were no action sequences, there was no snappy back and forth between the characters, and it really wasn't setting anything up. It was just kind of a recap in the most boring way possible. So that was the point where I'm I don't know if I really like this. And then, again, the second half kicks in, and I really did enjoy it. From the part where the umbrella sequence comes in that you see in the trailer, that's where the movie's awesome from then on, and I promise it is. So a little bit of a mixed direction there. The script was okay, if a little uneven at some points, but the cast was really good, and the action sequences were thoroughly entertaining. I had a great time, even if they were edited in a little bit too much of a stylized way. So, guys, if you are somebody who can get kind of put off by uneven direction, then you might not be a huge fan of this movie, but but again, I think it evens out by the end of it, so I can recommend Atomic Blonde. I'm going to give it a B-. Be sure to let me know what you guys think of Atomic Blonde in the comment section down below, and be sure to go over to mymoviethoughts.com or subscribe to this YouTube channel for tons more posts from me. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'm at John Hayeck, and links to all three of those are in the description down below. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hayeck, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching.